He led Angola through civil war and an oil-fueled boom. President Jose Eduardo dos Santos will step down at elections this week. Dos Santos' departure will be significant in a country that has known only two leaders since independence from Portugal in the year 1975. Let's now bring in global affairs and policy analyst Nweke to talk to us more about the events in Angola. Thank you very much indeed for joining us this time, Mr. Nweke.
My pleasure to be here.
All right. What do you think? Dos Santos, after 38 years in office, has decided to relinquish power willingly on his own volition. That's good for democracy, isn't it?
Well, that is good for democracy, coming a bit too late. Nevertheless, it's never too late to correct the ills of, bad leaders. Now, what I'm not exactly too pleased about is the fact that another tired old man, Mr. Lourenço, who is 63, is actually taking over from him. Now, on the risk of sounding, like an ageist, somebody who is, against old people, I'm simply trying to make the point, or rather ask the question, where are the young people of Angola? An old man is stepping out. Another old man is, about to take his place. I do hope that the transition is going to be, very smooth, and that thereafter, that, the real task of rebuilding Angola, focusing on the people of Angola, especially its teeming young people and the economy, will be, top on the agenda.
Okay, Collins, I mean, it's kind of good news that he's handed over power, but then there's a question. He's handed over power to someone who has been described as his man. I mean, a party loyalist for over some decades. It's simply in the office, but not actually the president. Is that what it is?
Well, yes, I think there are some worries around that, especially when we take that, in combination with the fact that Dos Santos himself has engineered a constitutional, review that actually has, kind of perpetuated him in power, in terms of, having control over the most important appointments, in Angola, being the head of the Popular Movement for the Liberation of Angola, which is their political party. It therefore means that the new guy coming into power, hopefully, as president, will more or less be a toothless bulldog, in the sense that Dos Santos appears set to continue to be in control of the most important appointments in the military and the most important ministries. Sorry. So I think the last of the political crisis in Angola has not been seen, even with, Dos Santos relinquishing power after nearly 4 decades there.
All right, it's becoming very certain that João Lourenço, of course, would become the next president if anything that we're hearing, it's, anything to go by. If he becomes the president, what area of development do you think that he needs to focus on, just in case he wins?
Yes, first and foremost, I like your, caution optimism about the fact of Lourenço taking over as president. Well, it looks set, but until it happens, we cannot be 100% sure. But let us go on the assumption that indeed he takes over after the election of Wednesday, today. I think the most important thing for him to focus on is developing the economy of Angola outside oil, because as you know, Angola is the third largest, producer of oil in Africa, and with the devaluation of oil, the insignificance of oil as a major foreign exchange earner, which has affected countries like Nigeria as well. The focus now will be on manufacturing, on export. One would hope that the incoming president will focus on that. But another very important area that Angola, just like Nigeria, has abandoned over the years is the human capital development. Up across Europe here and other parts of the world, I know a number of Angolans, very intelligent, pragmatic, very smart, men and women who flew Angola as a result of, political crisis. These are Angolan diaspora that are very much ready to go back, to help in rebuilding the nation. I do hope that the incoming president will reach out to such individuals, but also the Angolan brains within Angola, that much more will be done to rebuild them so that Angola will be ready to join the, or the League of Nations, that are making progress.
Absolutely, Collins. We've also heard news this morning that voters seem to be trickling into voting centers to cast their votes. Do you think there might be somewhat, voter apathy there?
Yes, voter apathy under the prevailing circumstances is actually unavoidable. But we have also gathered reports that, different election observers are there on the ground. Several meetings have been held, both with the electoral body of Angola, but also, civil society organizations and human rights organizations. And it does look like the situation is under control. Perhaps not 100%. You certainly can't guarantee 100%. Trouble-free elections under the circumstances, like I said. But I think one can hope that with all that have been put in place, that the result could be trusted.
All right, global affairs and policy analyst Collins Nweke, thank you very much indeed for sharing your thoughts with us.